Okay, Connie and Alice had an equal amount of money at first. Connie gave Alice $126, and Alice had 4 times as much money as Connie in the end. And we're asked, how much did Connie have at first? Okay, well, this is a really interesting problem, I think. So we've got Connie and we've got Alice. Okay. And I think it might help to draw the end situation first so we can think about what has moved around. So at the end, what are we told? At the end, Alice had 4 times as much money as Connie. So I'm going to draw this block for Connie. Okay. And in the end, Alice had 4 times as much as Connie. So that would be 1, that would be the same. That's 2 times as much, 3 times as much, 4 times as much. So this is the situation in the end. And I hope you're starting to notice that in a situation like this, so for example, we're told that Alice has 4 times as much as Connie. How many parts does that mean are in our model? Well, that means that there are 5 parts because the person we're comparing to also has a part. It can be very easy if you try to rush and do this in your head to just think, oh, I'm going to be dividing by 4. But where you've got a situation where something's 4 times as much as something else, that's 5 parts. If Alice had 7 times as much as Connie, there would have been 8 parts in the model, for example. Okay, so start to notice that. Right, so this is what we've got, and this is the situation we had at the end. Now, the other thing we need to notice is that all of the money stays in the model stays the same. The value of the whole model stays the same. We don't have money leaving the model being given to someone else outside the model or some money coming in. It's the same amount of money in the first situation and the second situation. It's just distributed differently. So what that might get us thinking is, well, we've got these 5 parts. What would we have to move from Alice to Connie so that they would have an equal amount like they had at the beginning? Now, we can't share 5 equally, can we? If we gave Connie one of these pieces here, we would end up still with this. But we could do it if we cut this in half, couldn't we? We would have we would have to split this in half in order to be able to share them equally. But then we wouldn't have equal parts anymore. So what we need to do is actually split everything in half. Okay, so I'm going to split that in half, everything in half. And instead of 5 parts, we're going to end up with 10 parts, which we can distribute evenly. So what would we have to give to Connie? Well, if we've got 10 parts, then at the beginning, they must have had 5 parts each. So Connie's got 2 parts at the moment. That means that 3 parts, okay, this is what must have come from Connie. Okay, and we can double check that. Let's draw in another 3 parts. 1, 2, 3, and we can see, yes, this is where it's equal. Okay, they've got 5 parts each. Right, well, now we can do something. We know we have an amount here. We know that Connie gave Alice $126. So we have a value that we can put in here. 126 is the value of these 3 parts. And so we can do 126. We can divide that by 3, and that is going to give us $42. Sorry, the reason I'm doing that, let's look at the question. The question we're asked is, how much money did Connie have at first? Well, that's this part here, isn't it? That's our question. So we've now got the value of each of these parts. How many does Connie have at the beginning? Well, she has 5. So that is going to be the $42 times 5. And that is, I don't know why I've done it like that, but that is 210. Okay. And that's our final answer.